everybody, Jackie from Waterlily. Just wanted to take a moment of your time, and what we're going to do today is we're just going to go through a basic home care routine in a sense of how it's applied and in what sort of order it's applied as well. Just because there are a few different products within the range with different consistencies, people obviously ask how much do you use and where to apply it, and obviously how to apply it as well. So there are a few, shall we say, guidelines that you should follow that'll help you just get optimal results with your products at home as well, and so you're not overusing or underusing products. So what we're going to start with first is cleansing. First I'm going to show you the milk cleanser. Now the reason I'm going to show you the milk cleanser is it's quite runny, and we tend to say not to wet or dilute the product down too much. So you've obviously got it at home. So one pump, or shall we say just under a teaspoon amount. Work it into your hands, applying it to the skin. As you can see, it's got a lot of slip on its own, even without any water, and it doesn't necessarily foam up. Sometimes if I'm really being a little bit aggressive with it, it will, but its main focus is to nice and gently remove the makeup and not actually foam up too much. Now with your first cleanse, when you've got makeup on, you don't want to really rub it into the skin. We're virtually putting it on the skin just to dissolve the makeup, and that's with any cleanser. So whether you rub it into the facial area and then rinse it under just running water if you're in the shower, or splashing it with your hands, that's fine. You can use disposable towelettes if you would like. Otherwise, even a normal face washer at home is fine. So making sure you get right down the neck and the ears. But as you can see, even though the milk cleanser doesn't foam up, you're still getting really good removal of product. Just making sure you really rinse the skin. Especially with your second cleanse. So remember, in the mornings one cleanse is enough. At night we want to double cleanse, so we need to cleanse the makeup off, and then the second cleanse is actually what's going to cleanse your skin. So what I'm going to show you next is the brightening foaming cleanser. Now this will pretty much cover your basis for any types of foaming cleanser. With the actual pump foaming cleanser, you'll find one pump and a little bit is enough. You sort of get like an egg shape in your hand, and that's generally enough. And again, you don't want to dilute it down too much because it will get quite watery because it's already aerated and foaming like a mousse. So with your brightening foaming cleanser, again, only a little bit goes a long way. So that's probably a small pea size. And as you'll see when I wet my hands, it really foams up. If when you apply a cleanser to your skin you don't feel like it's got enough movement, just re-wet your fingers. You don't have to really wet the skin. The more you dilute your products down, the less they work. And it makes a mess, it'll go everywhere. So with your second cleanse, you really want to work it into the skin. Make sure you're getting all those areas. You can go over the eyes too, just be mindful. With the milk cleanser it's generally fine. I do tend to use my foaming cleanser over my eyes as well. However, there is eye makeup removers that you can use, and they are appropriate for a delicate area such as the eye, and they prevent any panda eyes and things like that from occurring as well. Making sure you do around the nose, around the mouth. So you really want to work it in. So remembering, if you're using a face washer, really give it a good rinse out before you wipe off your cleanser. I must admit I do prefer just running clean water and splashing it over my face. I really find that's just a really fresh way of removing my makeup and removing the cleanser. I tend to find using cloths or face cloths, I have to keep rinsing them and wiping, rinsing and wiping, whereas if I'm just splashing sort of room temperature warm water on my face, it removes the cleanser really well. It's a little bit more messy, but water doesn't make too much of a mess. Easy. So you really want to make sure, especially at night, that you're cleansing everything off your skin. If you don't, it just allows room for the fact that your products won't absorb properly and you're leaving pollutants in your skin. So at night when your skin's resting, that's when it's going to do a lot of its recovery. So if you're leaving your makeup on and things like that, even mineral makeups, like they're generally fine to fall asleep in, but not every day. You do need to give your skin a good cleanse so that it's got time to recover and breathe as well, and so that you're getting the most out of your actives that you're applying on the skin. Now when you're using an exfoliant, I'm not actually going to use it on Lana today because she has actually just had some treatments in the last previous days, but with your exfoliant, again, a little pea-sized amount goes a long way. So I don't tend to dilute it down too much because you want that granular sensation. So just to show you in regards to amounts, it's probably just over a pea-sized amount just there. And again, working into your fingers and applying to the skin in that motion. Re-wet your fingers, apply it back in. You want to sort of emulsify it into the skin for 30 seconds to a minute and rinse. Follow your therapist's recommendations in regards to how often you should be using your exfoliant and for how long and how aggressively as well. Every skin type is different and every exfoliant is different, so do make sure you do follow the recommended guidelines just so that you're not overdoing it. In regards to correctors, whether you're using your eye cream morning or night, I tend to find it's best to apply it first before anything else. Again, a little amount like that is plenty. So we generally say like a grain of rice for each eye. I pop it onto my tips of my fingers and pat it on. I do put it in the middle of the brows as well. So again, depending on your eye cream, whether you're using it morning or night, your ultra moist eye cream and your vitamin C eye cream are really great to use in the morning. The vitamin C especially gives you that primer type effect, really smooths and brightens everything out and makes the area look really nice and hydrated and illuminated, so that's always really good, along with your ultra moist, which is really good for any dehydrated or dry skin type areas. Your vitamin A eye cream, should always be used at night. Purely because vitamin A sitting topically on the surface of the skin can cause it to be a little bit more photosensitive, and we obviously don't want to create that response within the skin. So again, just following your therapist's guidelines. So as you can see, that was just a small amount, it absorbs really quickly. So anything that's a cream-based serum or corrector, again, a pea-sized amount is plenty. This is actually probably enough for face and neck, to be honest with you. With your vitamin A, it does come in a pump, so I generally find one pump is enough. What I say to people, again, vitamin C23 comes in a cream formulation, so anything that's quite creamy in texture, apply it to my fingertips. I pat it over the area to make sure that I've got it everywhere, and then I rub it in. Don't forget your neck. Necks are really important. Nose. So just remember with your correctors, you don't want to go below your eyebrow and you don't want to go above the ocular bone. That's what your eye cream's for. And even then, you shouldn't be shoving creams right in under your eye. Now with your correctors, they aren't meant to make your skin feel saturated. You will feel like there's product on there, but they're made in a way that the molecular formula soaks into the skin. What actually gives your skin that flexibility superficially is your moisturisers. So just remember, a little bit does go a long way. If you really like that saturated sensation, opt for a heavier moisturiser or just use a little bit more of your moisturiser. But theoretically, if you're using correct skincare, your skin a little bit will feel sufficient. Any liquid correctors, so anything where the consistency is a lot more water-like. I don't know if you can see it here, but that's the B2 serum. It's really quite watery. Again, that was just a small little pea-sized amount. You do need to work a little bit quicker with these because they do absorb a little bit quicker. But again, just applying to the skin and rubbing it in. It'd be nice if someone could do this for you every morning and night, but unfortunately it doesn't happen that way. So you don't have to be pedantic with these things, you just have to make sure you're using the correct amounts and in the correct order as well. Again, when you're using your products, depending on what you're using, your therapist will advise you in which way you should layer them as well. There are certain products that do need to go on first before layering anything else over the top. In regards to your moisturisers, whether it be an SPF moisturiser or a night moisturiser, again, a little bit goes a long way. So probably a tiny little bit more than your correctors. But again, there's your moisturiser. Now you tend to find you've got a little bit more time to work with your moisturisers. So if you'd like to do the same method as I did with the correctors and pat it on and then rub it in, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, I tend to find, because you've got that little bit more time, they do work in quite nicely. Now remembering, if you're using, two correctors on top of each other, or even one corrector and your moisturiser over the top, you do want to rub them in for about 10 to 20 seconds. And then maybe give it about a minute before you apply any makeup over the top, just so that you get that nice even consistency and so that it doesn't stick to any wet products that might be still absorbing into the skin. Being that these products are all quite light and the absorbency of them is quite high, you shouldn't get any sticking or patching from your makeup if you're using a correct makeup for your skin type as well. So over the top of this, as I said, you can use your liquid foundations, your powders, any concealers. They'll all go on over completely fine, even with the two correctors underneath, and even with the moisturiser. So if that helps, that's great, but see how you go and just change those few little things in your routine that you may feel you're overusing or underusing, and you'll find it can change the results that you get within your skincare. But if you do have any questions at all, or if you need a recap of your prescription or any help in regards to any products or treatments, please feel free to come in and see us here at Waterlily.